to the SFR Notebook. So today we'll be covering rounds 8 and rounds 9 from season 4. So round 8 was Japan and round 9 was the USA. Once again, apologies for skipping my weekly notebook and doing 2 in 1 again. Very, very busy. As you can see, I have recently passed my HGV driver's license. So that's been a mammoth 6 weeks of lots of training, lots of revision, and finally I'm there. So hopefully now it will all fall into place and I'll be able to do a lot more of these on time, basically. So let's go to Japan then. So Japan, we had a pole position from ERT Henry. He set a 1:28.307 as his pole position lap, far ahead of the P2. So P2 was Kachow, and that was 0.592 ahead of him. So big old gap from P1 to P2. Later on, we will talk about what happened to Henry at the end of the race. Being pole doesn't mean a race win. Who won the race? That was PhD Vengeance. He came in P1, chasing Henry hard, especially after the final safety car. Lasser came in P2, another podium for Lasser, and Honesy coming home in P3, even after a spin just before Spoon. Mark of Kenya set the fastest lap of the race. He did a 1:30.001. It's pretty close to getting into the 1:29s. Brilliant race. Japan always brings lots of incidents, especially through the S's, through Dunlop, through the 1 and 2 Degners, the hairpin, the Spoon, 130R, and the last chicane as well. So it's literally every corner there was something going on. And we're going to go into overtake of the race. Overtake of the race. Out of nowhere, John Cena style, Mr. Woot on FRL Charlie. So let's have a quick watch of that, because it literally came out of absolutely nowhere. Let's go.
Viet has picked up 2 5-second penalties back to back. And, oh, Mr. Woot absolutely sent it. Wow.
Big balls.
I think
Big balls
that is overtake of the race. All of a sudden, Mr. Woot.
That was the overtake of the race. Another one, which is very close, I'm going to class it as funny because I couldn't stop cracking up on the stream, was when B16 took, literally out of nowhere, out of the last chicane, got the power down and breezed past. I think it was Impossible, and I think it was Viet. I think they were battling. I can't remember who the other driver was. But yeah, B16, just watch him just appear and then disappear all the way down the straight. Let's have a watch.
Is still close behind, and Impossible
and who's this?
is low on the RS.
Look at B16!
B16 just powers past!
Wow, where did he come from? B16 into P7.
I have no clue. Out of nowhere.
Where
He just
did he come
drives
from?
past him like...
Good move there from B16. Good race from him as well. And moment of the race has to go to ERT Henry on the final lap, spinning, crashing, doing what he does best, through the S's and losing the race. So let's have a watch of that. We didn't really get much of it. We got his no front wing. But yeah, let's have a quick watch.
And who's round? Who's round? Henry!
That's Henry!
He's
That's
got
Henry, the
front wing
race
left.
leader!
Wow, okay, so that changes everything. What on earth has happened to Henry? He's led.
This gives Honesy.
So there we go. Henry losing the race win on the final lap, and also rage quitting out of the session as well, which is fair enough. I suppose once you've done all that, you can't do. You just want to give up, don't you? So yeah, he ended up not finishing the race. So let's go into grades. Start off with Ferrari. PhD Vengeance, highest Ferrari driver of the race, reserve driver, started in P3, finished in P1. A from me. Yerdy, another race where he unfortunately didn't finish, started in P15, DNF, another reserve driver for Ferrari that week, and I'm going to give Yerdy a D. Red Bull, we had Lasser, so only one driver in the Red Bull that week, 19 drivers on the grid. Lasser went from P17 to P2. That deserves a star, an A-star drive from you. Fantastic, getting on that podium once again. In the Alpha Tauri, we had Honesy as a full-timer and Mark of Kenya as the reserve. So Honesy started in P16, finished in P3. Would normally be an A, but I think with the spin, and I know you're really good around Japan, so I'm going to drop it down to a B, because I think you could have done better. I think you could have won that race. Myself and Cornet were talking on the stream that we were thinking that you were in a very good position. So B. Mark of Kenya started P18, finished P13, scrappy race, but still decent to gain a few positions. So C. Mercedes, we had Dace and Viet, both full-time drivers racing there. Dace started in P5, finished in P4, B, and Viet started P11, having a good race up until his DNF, C. Aston Martin, we had Impossible, who started in P10, finishing in P6 as an A. He's had a great start to his SFR career, and alongside was Will, started P9, finished in P10, so a B. Strong B as well. In the McLaren, we had B16 starting P12 into P7, so that's an A because that was just a great drive from you. Red Dog, on the other hand, not brilliant. P16 P16 up to P12, but quite a few incidents, so that's a D from me. Delta started P14, finished in P8 in the Alpine, the highest finishing Alpine that weekend, so number one driver, A. Charlie started P19, finished in P15, and the only driver to be lapped. D. In the Haas, we had both full-timers, Toss and Medwards. Toss starting P7, finishing in P9. That's a C. A spin at the hairpin dropped you down a grade. And Medwards starting P13, finishing P17. That's a D. In the Alpha ERT, Henry starting P1, DNFing at the end. Yeah, I could drop you down lower, but I'm not. I'm going to give you a C just because everything was perfect until that last lap. Kachow, P2 to a DNF in P18, that's an E. Not a great race from Kachow. And Williams, we had Rayner as the highest finishing Williams, started P4, finishing in P5, that's an A. And Mr. Woot starting P8, dropping to P14, but some really good fights on track, so I'm going to give you a C for that drive. So that is Japan done and dusted. We have Japan. Hope you've enjoyed some of the clips. And now we're going to move on to the US of A. Pole position went to the American Cali Robb with a 131.502, and he was 0.320 ahead of FRL Charlie, who started in P2. The fastest lap went to Viet, who did a 132.962. Only driver into the 1 minute 32s, only just though. And the race winner went to Holmesy, and he finished ahead of Charlie, the only driver in the top three to do a two-stopper. And Cali Robb, unfortunately, he had a 3-second penalty, so he was really trying to push to get away from Holmesy on the last lap, which is probably why he spun a little bit maybe. He was pushing a bit too hard, but he came home in P3, limped home in P3, should I say. Literally, I think he had about 7/10 to dropping down to P4, where Will would have got on the podium, as Will finished very close behind in P4. Moment of the race, it's got to go down to Cali Robb, crashing on the last lap. Delta picked it up on stream, so let's catch the tail end of that and the commentary from Delta, because it was pretty good.
It still would have caused a distraction as Cali Robb's in the wall! Cali Robb was in the wall!
Oh dear.
He's picked up some, he's got hurt, he's left his front wing behind. Gonna have to crawl that baby home.
So Charlie is now sniffing P2.
Absolutely, Charlie just needs to make up 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds.
There you go. That's the moment of the race. Pretty significant. If you agree with me, that's brilliant. But I think it was. Cali, unfortunately, losing it on his home track on the last lap. Overtake of the race. I've picked two. I can't really remember too many, but the two that pick up are Toss the Caber on Lasser into the left-hander towards the end of the lap. So let's take that away and have a quick watch of that, because I think it was pretty good up the inside.
And yeah, Lasser into P10, dropped a position. Toss goes up the inside. Wow, what a move from Toss the Caber there into that corner. Lasser's going to try the switchback. Doesn't quite do it, and we've got.
And then we also have on lap 4 FRL Charlie for the lead on Cali Robb into the braking zone at the end of the DRS straight. So let's have a quick watch.
Let's ride on board in the cockpit of Charlie. The closing speed is immense as you come over that little crest. And Charlie's going to try and go round the outside of Cali Robb. Cali Robb's going to fight it, takes the inside line. Charlie's going to go for the switchback, but Cali does switch that back off. But Charlie up the inside of Cali Robb into the braking zone, and Charlie gets the move done. So Cali Robb drops down into P2.
Tricky track, DRS trains, lots of DRS overtakes. There's lots of overtakes, just lots of DRS ones. But they're the two that really stand out, well, I could remember anyway. So into the grade book then. So let's go to Alpha Tauri. Honesy gets an A for his drive from P4 to P1, winning the race. And Ted Wardo, I'm going to give you an E, P12 to P19 and a DNF. So not a great race from you, Ted. I thought you were back on form. Let's get back on form when you next race with us. In the Alpine, the highest finishing Alpine was SFR Charlie. He started in P2, finished in P2, 2-stopper, A. Delta, I didn't even realise you DNF'd until lap 3, so I apologise, even though it was on the first corner. Sorry, F. But you did join me in the commentary box, and you did an A-star performance in the commentary box, so I'll give you that. In the Alfa Romeo, we have Cali Rob starting P1, finishing P3, perfect until the last lap, B. And Quinton was AI, unfortunately, so ungradable. AI all race. He did make a brilliant start. He was ahead for a good lap. And then in the Aston Martin, Will, highest finishing Aston Martin last weekend, started in P8, finished in P4. I'm going to give you an A star because that was a brilliant drive. You just missed out on the podium by a couple of tenths, kept it clean, consistent, some good overtakes going on, some good defending as well. So A star for Will. And Impossible, his teammate, first dodgy race in SFR since he's joined us, started P10, finished P11, C. Toss the Caber, started in P6 of the Haas and finished in P5, so that's an A, good consistent drive there from you. And Medwards started P16, finished P17 with a DNF, so D. In the Mercedes, there was Dace and Viet. Dace on his home track picked up quite a few time penalties, unfortunately, which is going to drop your grade down. Should have been an A, but I'm going to drop it down to B. Started in P3, finished in P6, but you were you dropped a few positions at the end with the time penalties. And Viet started P17, finished P12, couple of spins, unfortunately, so C. Since you won a race a couple of weeks ago, you've dropped your form a little bit, so pick that back up and you can get Mercedes back up to the fighting for the constructors, which you already are, but, you know, push on. In the Ferrari, we had Cool Beans back last week. It started P18, finished in P7, very, very close to getting an A-star drive, but I'm going to give it to Will for other reasons. But brilliant, brilliant drive from you, Cool Beans. Made those tyres and that strategy work. Yerdy finally finished a race. Yes, didn't think he was. I checked him on the stream, spinning into that wall, went careering into it. But yeah, Yerdy started P13, finished P14 with a B. In the Williams, we have Rayner, started P5, finished P8, C. And CRL Indian Jesus, debut drive in SFR last week, started P7, finished P10. Showed some good promising pace, but a C. In the Red Bull, there was Lasser, P9, C drive. Couldn't really do much more, couldn't really do much less. Sorted. ERT Henry, ungradable, AI all race, disconnect, another issue with that. And in the McLarens, we had Red Dog, highest finishing McLaren, started P15, finished P13. A few mistakes here and there, so C. And then B16, started P11, finished P18, got tangled up at turn 1 on lap 1. In a few things, DNF those, so that's an E. So that's the grade books for both Japan and the USA. So this Sunday we head to Portimao, a SFR first. I'm very, very, very much looking forward to this. It's going to be a very interesting race. Corners are slippery as hell. Track limits are hell. So good luck to everybody racing. Let's watch Cornet's hot lap. And maybe something a little bit extra that you haven't seen before. So let's take that away.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's SFR Hot Lap. We have a bit of a treat this week. We are at the new circuit for the game. Well, not the newest circuit. Imola came out a couple of days ago. This one didn't come out too much longer before that. It is the Portimao circuit, so the Algarve circuit in Portimao. It's 15 turns, 4.63 kilometers, and one of the characteristics of this circuit is it has a lot of undulations, a bit of a roller coaster ride. And to take us on the roller coaster ride this week, it is once again Cornet F1. So he's stepping up and he's going to take us around for a lap right now. Alright, so we pick him up as he's about to make his way onto the front straight. So it's a 969 metre front straight. It's 18 metres wide. He's going to brake very, very late for turn 1, which is Primeria. So just kissing the apex through there. Bit of a tricky first turn there. Turn 3 is Lagos. So easy on the upshift there, short shift. Turn 4, really quite a difficult turn, a lot harder than it looks there. Really easy to spin the car around. So turn 5, it's a 160-degree turn. It's Torre VIP as he makes his way up the hill now. Just turn 6, which is just a gentle curve, if you like. Turn 7, just a short shift down through the gears there. Turn 8, which is Samsung, the right-hander. Just gets a little bit of oversteer coming through there. Turn 9, which is Craig Jones corner. And comes into turn 10, which is named after Portimao, which is the city that the Algarve circuit is in. So down the hill, then up the hill again. Really important to get your braking point right here for turn 13. So nice and easy on the power again. Comes into turn 14, which is Sagres. So nice and easy on the power. Moves his way up through the gears. Really common issue that you have through here as you come through Galp is running out of ERS, but Cornet F1 does not have any issues with that whatsoever on the hot lap this week. So thank you very much to him. I don't really know what time he did. He didn't send me through the time this week, but I think it was decent. Now here at SFR, we like to think that the driving quality is pretty good. And these hot laps always do look good as a finished product. But just wanted to give you a bit of insight, a little bit of behind the scenes of what happens as these are put together. So here's some footage. It was actually 4 minutes worth of footage of Cornet just trying to get the hot lap looking like it did that you would have seen the clean version of. A lot of work and time went into it, but he did struggle a lot. There was a lot of communication from him that he didn't particularly enjoy this one. It was quite difficult to put a hot lap together, especially just losing that rear just over and over and over again, especially around turn 4 as we can see him. There we go. Oh, he just loses it. Obviously invalidated the lap. I think there's another one coming up here. There it goes. Around she goes. Loses it again. Nice little 360 there. Still going. I think this was into turn 1, so there's no worse a feeling than when you get it wrong at turn 1. Even using the driver's line, which is very unlike Cornet. And there's turn 4 again. So that's just a little bit of a behind the scenes, if you like. I'm not too sure if Cornet will enjoy that or not, but nonetheless, just to let you know that there is a lot of time and effort and energy that goes into these, and yeah, just sort of give you a bit of behind the scenes, peek behind the curtain. Now it's back to my main man, Van Rocco.
So there's the hot lap from Cornet. Thank you very much for doing that. And thank you, Nick, for your commentary as always. It's absolutely fantastic. You can just close your eyes and listen to him talking about it, and you know exactly where they are on track, even if it is unfamiliar like Portimao is. Remember, it is just a game. I know the tensions get a little bit high on the Discord after the race. Have fun. It's a game. Have fun. But we all want to make it as serious as we possibly can as well. So, over and out.